This show is brought to you by Safety FM. This is Safety Justice League.
Hey, it's Abby Ferry, and I am here with Jason Lucas, and we are doing, I think, the first of any of our breakout episodes of the Safety Justice League, in which we're not the four members of the league. We're not just one member of the league talking to somebody, but it's two members of the league talking about something. So welcome.
It is a two for tango.
Yeah.
Episode of Safety Justice League Presents. And I guess on this one, it would be Safety Justice League presents the Road to Safety 2020. How excited are you about the upcoming Safety 2020 conference?
I'm excited. I've been going to these annual events since I think 2014. And I don't know, it's like summer camp for safety people. And I'm going to get so much, I'm probably going to get a lot of negative feedback on just saying that, because I know some people have very rigid expectations of what should happen at a safety conference, but I'm always an advocate of having a little bit of fun with my fellow safety professionals too, mixed in with our learning. So I think safety is one of those professions where only we know what it's like for other people in the field. And so it's nice to not only dive deep into the different topics, but also just connect with each other. And that's how you and I got our start. I mean, I think I just knew you from LinkedIn, from the Social Media Safety Minute. And then we met IRL in real life in the Wise Lounge. So, and ever since then, so that was last summer. And ever since then, we've been plotting on how we could work together. And so how that came to be is the Safety 2020 speaker proposals came out, or the call for speakers came out, and we just wanted to work together. So the social media was a natural topic for the two of us.
Yeah, and I think I agree that the conference is summer camp for safety people. So yeah. They can get upset with me as well, because I just love going to that conference. Out of all the conferences I go out through the year, that's my favorite one, because they're not scared to have a good time. Plus the just the lounges and all the goodies that you can get, all the swag.
Yeah, all the informal stuff, right? Like there's the stuff that's in the program, but then there's also the things that you couldn't describe in a program that just happen when you get all those people together.
Yeah, absolutely. And, it was a natural progression, because both of us were getting a lot of traction on social media from the standpoint of trying to spread a safety message through social media. So I think it was just a natural progression that the two of us would be speaking on that. This is my first time speaking at this event, so I'm pretty excited about it. I know you're old hat at this. I think you speak 12,000 times a year.
Maybe it's like 11,500.
Yeah. For real. How many sessions do you have just in Safety 2020?
So this year, Safety 2020, I was, I guess, shocked but not surprised that every session that I collaborated on for a proposal actually got picked. So I think it's 4.
Wow. I have 1. So.
And we're going to make it the best and most fun.
Yeah, no, I have no doubt that it's going to be the most fun. And the really cool part is I think that everybody that we've been engaging with since the last conference on social media, I think they're really excited about the session that you and I are speaking at. And I'm hoping that we just really have standing room only in there. I'm hoping, even if it's just to come see some members of Safety Justice League, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So what have you been working on that might be a little different than you were originally planning when you thought about this, that you've been working on to kind of prepare for this session?
I would say everything. like we had like we had all these thoughts and plans in mind when we submitted the proposal. Even the title of the session, what is it? Snap, tweet, and gram your way to
Yes.
blah blah blah. And I find myself, I think I deleted Snapchat from my phone, so I'm not even using it. Tweeting happens once in a while. I mean, I still look at Twitter. I like to look at it and just kind of scroll the feed and see what's going on. And then Instagram, I mean, I use that too, but really the platforms that excite me the most that I didn't anticipate this would happen are LinkedIn, and TikTok is super just interesting to me, that I'm looking at it like it's a space rock, like something that's not of Earth. And it's like, well, this is interesting. How can I make this a tool for myself? So yeah, just all those different things. It's awesome.
I think that watching the popularity of TikTok, not just on TikTok, but the popularity of TikTok on LinkedIn,
yes,
has been just watching how many influencers are coming over to LinkedIn and becoming influencers on LinkedIn. Jade Vincent is a great one. Mayan, Jocelyn V. There's so many of them that are coming over. They've already become influencers. Jennifer Klein, Miss DeWalt. They've already been influencers over at TikTok, and now they're coming to LinkedIn, and they're not just using, it's not like they're just posting their TikTok videos. They're posting, quality content, white papers, other videos, fresh content. They're taking what they've learned for influencing at TikTok and they're adjusting it for influencing over in LinkedIn, and they're spreading their message for their businesses in unique and wonderful ways. So it's been interesting to watch.
I love that you mentioned that they're not just like reposting a TikTok video, even though sometimes that is what happens. And you do it and I do it too, that we'll make a TikTok video and put it on LinkedIn. And that's cool. But I think what really helps those people transcend, like if they originated as a TikTok influencer and now they're killing it on LinkedIn, I think it's because they're crafting a message for the LinkedIn audience. I mean, Jade is like 19 years old, and she has a white paper that people downloaded on how to be a TikTok or how to even do TikTok, like for business. I mean, that's just amazing to see people be able to build entire careers off of these platforms. It's super cool.
Yeah, and they could easily have just stuck around making silly videos on TikTok or whatever, but they're expanding, they're going above and beyond, but at the same time they're giving back. And I think that that's really, kind of what you and I have been discussing from the beginning on how to spread a safety message on social media is kind of to follow along those same lines, but at the same time, make sure that we're focusing on the giving back aspect to make sure that other people are being able to use this information.
I like that. And I'm thinking about your TikTok videos because yours are far better than mine are. And we should also mention Lori Frederick,
Movement Ninja.
Yes, Movement Ninja. And I don't even know her name on I can't think of it off the top of my head from TikTok. But anyway,
I think it's Movement Ninja.
Is it Movement Ninja? Okay.
Yeah,
because I think of you two, and you both have grown a really nice follower base just totally organically. Like, you're not paying for TikTok followers, are you? Okay. And I know she's not either. So, but something's resonating with the audience on TikTok, and they look at these videos, and like from Lori, like I learn how to stretch my wrists, whatever it is, or stretch before and after I shovel snow. But it's just like really modern approach and just great content that people can actually find useful. And it's shareable too, that some kid that's like 17 might be looking through TikTok and they see her video or see your video about something safety related, and they might share it with someone because they work in a warehouse. And I think that's the kind of stuff that it just it warms my social media heart, that someone who has no clue who we are, no clue or care really about worker safety, but something resonates with them and they share it, and maybe it could have an impact on somebody.
Yeah, and I think that that's really the idea of spreading this safety message, and you said you looked up the numbers currently on how many people can actually be reached through some of
Yes.
these sites.
Yeah, so that was something you brought to the table when we were creating our proposal, and of course now I lost it. Where did it go? Here it is. So I was looking at the millions of active users, or number of active users in millions. And so when you started the proposal with the tweet, Snap, and Gram, so right now Snapchat and Twitter rank lower in active users in millions per month than TikTok.
Wow.
Yeah. And I don't know if LinkedIn is just doesn't rank on here, or if it's not considered a popular worldwide platform, but it doesn't even rank in this top 10. And what do you think number one is?
Facebook.
Yes, Facebook. And then second is YouTube, followed by WhatsApp. And then Facebook
Oh, wow.
Messenger is next after that too. So Facebook has two things on there. And actually, doesn't Facebook own WhatsApp also?
I think so.
And they own Instagram, or Facebook owns WeChat? One of
Yeah,
those.
they're everything. He owns
Yeah.
everything.
So basically, Facebook ranks in the top 6 in one way or another.
Wow.
Yeah. So just to see, it's not the fall of Snapchat and Twitter. It's just that it really depends on what you're talking about and kind of the group that's listening and interacting. Because I know to both of us, I'm sure LinkedIn would rate in our top 5 of
Yeah,
how often we're
absolutely.
using it and how active it is too. So, but yeah, Facebook, just to give you an idea, it has 2,449 million active users. So I'm not
Wow.
a mathematician, but doesn't that get into like billion at some point?
That's a lot.
So this is a lot. And so that's what we were using to quantify or give the reason behind our proposal on why the heck would we be talking about social media at a safety conference. But when you
Yeah.
have, I mean, everybody works, right? Or everyone's going to work at some point. So we need to go where they are and bring them those messages.
One of the things that I really want to cover when we do this session is the differences. You have to present your message differently depending on what outlet that you're using. LinkedIn, we have the ability to do I generally try to stay under a minute, but you have up to 10 minutes for a video on LinkedIn if you choose to use 10 minutes of a video. There's so many different options on ways to present your safety message on LinkedIn that is going to be different than presenting a safety message on TikTok. It's going to be different than presenting a message on Instagram. So if you had just briefly, like, how would you describe the differences in how you present your messages between, say your top 3 that you're using right now?
So what are my top 3? I guess my top 3 would be LinkedIn and TikTok and Facebook, I think. I mean, I should probably include YouTube on there too, but I feel like YouTube is more of a tool for sharing videos. Obviously, that's what it is. But
Yeah.
a way that if I record a video, that I always would upload it to YouTube, and then that's where it lives. And so I would then take that YouTube content and link it through LinkedIn or Facebook or elsewhere. So I guess that's why I don't really consider YouTube as a standalone. But as far as crafting different messages, I mean, LinkedIn is definitely the business platform, that I'm not going to speak in internet shorthand or, like how I would talk on Twitter or even Instagram or TikTok. I mean, LinkedIn is complete sentences, um, sometimes technical writing, because you do have high character limits in a LinkedIn post.
Yeah.
So you can do a lot with that. It's almost like the ideal blog post length is the length of the longest LinkedIn post, if everyone
Yeah.
follows that.
No, I'm with you.
Yeah. So, but sometimes I think because I share so much on LinkedIn, I think there's an opportunity to bring in some of those more fun things from YouTube or Instagram or TikTok. Like when people often will comment on mine or others' posts on LinkedIn and say, this is for Facebook. And it's like, well, but it's here on LinkedIn and that's where I put it. So take a hike.
It's my LinkedIn. You
yeah,
can't tell me what to post.
this is my wall, like we'd say on MySpace.
Yeah, this is my wall. I'll post what I want.
Yeah, leave me alone. So, but I think it's important to show some of your personality too. So that's why I like to share some of that TikTok style content or Instagram style content on LinkedIn. And often it plays really well. So you can just see that people, they really want to hear different types of messages. Even on LinkedIn, people get sick of the stuffy, businessy, I'm at this conference and look at this program. It's like, okay, cool. But what did you learn? Tell us more.
Roger Wilkerson had a good post earlier this week, and what he shared on there was like, don't get upset if somebody else's fluffy post gets more views and engagement than yours. People like fluffy.
Yeah.
And he was just talking about, just the idea that some people get so upset that, somebody's picture of their dog swimming in the pool or video of their dog, jumping out of the car and running fast is getting more engagement than their white paper did. Well, you know what? Sometimes people just want fluffy, even on LinkedIn. It's surprising. I know, it's shocking.
Yeah. Shocking, but not surprising, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. Like this week, we just talked about it in our Safety Justice League group podcast. But my most popular post this week was a picture of me in the bathroom mirror with my hotel towels piled up. But, there was a safety message too. So I think, like, for me personally, I don't like to post a lot about personal life unless it has some kind of tie-in to business. So I think I posted about my daughter's Daisy Scout troop doing something, but there was a safety management type of tie-in. So, but other people that may not suit their style. So it just really depends on the person's style, and who am I to comment on how someone else chooses to present themselves.
Yeah, and I think I had actually read another post where a lady was a little upset because somebody had come to her direct messages and said, you really shouldn't have pictures of your, personal pictures of your family behind you when you're filming work videos or videos that have to do with work, because, those two things shouldn't be combining like that. And I was like, well, I mean, if you ever watch a video of mine, you're probably going to see my kids in the background, because that's what I surround myself with.
But you're a guy, family. Jason, so that's different. There's some other factors going on there, I bet.
That's
I've had people reach out to me like that, and then they'll say that it's for my safety, like as if I need them to look out for my safety. But thanks.
Oh, wow. Yeah. And I think that, well, that's a whole different podcast. We're going to get away from that rabbit hole, but I think that's probably something that we should address as a whole group eventually on the ideas of how to properly talk to people on social media. Maybe we'll do a Safety Justice League video about that. But, for this conference that we got coming up, what people who are going to potentially attend the how to tweet, snap, and gram your safety message to reach billions, which I think is the title of ours on Tuesday. What do you think that they can expect in our session? Let's give them kind of a little insight, little heads up of what they can expect when they come in.
Well, I think what I want to do for sure is like make fun of ourselves at the beginning because of the title, and also to illustrate how things happen so fast. And social media is kind of the microcosm, macrocosm, whatever the right application of the word is there. But it illustrates how things just happen so fast when you look at the platforms changing, and you look at how things change at work, and how we could even just take a social media mindset and apply it to work. So maybe maybe we have to come up with like a hierarchy or a spectrum of social media users, that maybe you're just going to take some social media lessons and use them at work, or maybe you're actually going to use social media for work. or there's also big companies where they don't like social media, so they have their own. And so I've had people
Yeah.
attend my sessions in the past where we were talking about social media, where it's, Twitter, Facebook, whatever. But the people were saying, I work for, household name company here. And we have our own internal social media. And so I think people that have that sort of situation at work, this session would be great for them too.
Yeah, because it's, even if we're just sharing on how to spread a safety message from a standpoint of even an internal social media, the parameters and the thought process is the same. Because it's really about clarity. One of the things that I've done in any new social media that I've ever been a part of is I spend some time just sitting back watching. Like, I want to know what makes this thing tick. I want to know who is popular and why they're popular. And then one of my strengths is maximizer. So I generally try to find what that is and try to maximize that on my own personal page. So if I find that, it looks like videos that are under a minute are the most successful, then I'm probably going to do some videos under a minute. If it looks like, an image with a question attached to it is successful and popular, hey, maybe I'll put an image out there with a question on it. So you have to find what's working, and then you have to work it to match what you do. And so that any new one that I join, I spend a little bit of time sitting back and watching. I'm not sure if you're the same on that.
I am, and I do a lot of like digesting quickly of social media, but probably more producing of my own content. Producing is the wrong word, but just posting my own stuff. And where I really find value is in the interactions. So that could be that there's no interactions, or it could be that there's a lot. And then I like to ask further questions in the comments. I'm wondering if LinkedIn will ever get a polling feature. That could be dangerous, and it could be
Yeah, that would be
completely ruined
interesting,
by
but fun.
marketers. But yeah, it could be
Yeah.
fun. But in the meantime, Twitter and Facebook have polling features. And so I think leveraging the different strengths, not only of yourself and what you identify with others, but also the strengths of the individual platforms too. So what I think we should be doing, or what we probably will be doing, is presenting a lot of that. We tried this and it went like that. And then I'm really hoping to get some engagement from the audience that attends so that they can ask us on the spot questions. Because right now we're recording this, it's in March, and, we've got a long time until June. There's a lot that could happen between now and then with,
LinkedIn could shut down.
It could be gone.
It could be completely gone.
Who knows?
And that's, I definitely want to lean on the audience during the presentation to see, I want to hear their questions. I want to hear what's working for them and what's not working for them. But I agree. I think that if we have some time to discuss our failures and some things that we've tried,
love that.
Maybe that'll prevent some other people. And I'm kind of interested, honestly, since this is the Safety Justice League Presents podcast, I'm kind of interested to see how we address that in the presentation, because this was not something that was remotely even considered when we first started talking.
Yes, when we were going to record today, I was like, how crazy is it that Jason and I were just like, yeah, let's do this presentation together. And now we had the video together, the Ask a Safety Pro with the other guys. And then now we have the Safety Justice League, and now there's a podcast. Like, this really got out of control quickly.
Yeah. And how do you put that into, we're so blown away by how all this has happened, and it's been so organic. It's hard to explain to, that's my fear, is that we're going to get in there and somebody's going to say, so how did y'all form the Safety Justice League, and what is making it so successful?
It just
and
happened.
Our response is going to be, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Why.
I'm so sorry. But I think there's lessons to be learned there, right? Like, I think there's some overarching themes that we've tried to keep within the group, or not as a secret, but that we've tried to hold on to, which is to keep it fun, not make it a burden on anybody. I don't think any of us is spending too much time or disruptive amount of time. In fact, probably to the outside eyes or to the audience, and I put that in air quotes, but to people that just scroll on LinkedIn or wherever, they might be seeing our stuff. They probably think, holy crap, they post a lot, or that's a lot going on. But really, I mean, it's just part of my life. It's just a different outlet or another channel for me to do things that I was already doing. And I think that you would probably agree. I mean, you were doing the social media safety minute. So what's another minute or 30 seconds on a collaborative video? Or I used to do a lot of stuff on Canva or with my blog, but now a lot of it is now podcasting, where we're having these interviews together or conversations together. So I think maybe another aspect to this presentation could be how to just streamline, and if social media or this messaging, getting safety messages out to workers, even at your own company, just how to streamline that with what you're already doing. Because I think keeping that authenticity is key, and the genuine messages is also key too, to just avoid that burnout.
Yeah, I think I just was speaking to a former coworker of mine a while back, and he was like, "Hey, I need some advice. They want to start having me make videos for the people that aren't able to make it to the safety meetings. How should I go about that?" I said, "Are you holding safety meetings?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Record the safety meeting that you're holding. You're
Boom.
already doing it.
You're
Just
doing
record
it. Yes.
and just send it. Don't do a secondary one. You're already doing it. Just document what you're doing through video and send them that video so that they have access to the same thing that you shared with everybody else in there, and you don't have to edit it or anything. Just send them the video of your safety meeting, that you don't double work yourself."
Right.
And I think that's something we probably need to address in the session as well. Is what do you do if an executive or a manager says, "Hey, I noticed you're spending a lot of time on social media." One of the things that we probably should explain to, and maybe our audience listening right now is confused about this as well, but the way the algorithm works is it may look like, I mean, you may open up your LinkedIn and you scroll down and you see, 4 videos from Jason, and it looks like Jason recorded 4 videos today. That's not necessarily true.
That's
Maybe
true. Yeah.
so it all depends on who's liking and commenting on things and stuff like that. So it may look like you're a lot more involved, or you're spending a lot more time, or as some people would say, wasting a lot more time on social media. I mean, I think you've even had to address, like, when do you work?
Oh, for sure. I have a blog post literally titled that, "When do you work?" Because I had people question it. I mean, this is back when I was consulting on my own, but it just goes back and it's easily explained, where people can source more information on this. Just go to Gary Vaynerchuk podcast. He talks about it all the time. Document, don't create. So if you're like, when you guys were at a safety conference recently, you just documented what you were doing. You didn't create content like, okay, we're going to talk about this, then we're going to do that. It's like, no, we were at this session. Boom. We learned these 3 things. Boom. There's your content.
Yeah,
it's not hard.
absolutely. And I think that yeah, I mean, you could make it hard,
Yeah.
but I think that a lot of people just need to know how to respond to that. Because you would get disgruntled and you'd get frustrated automatically and be like, "Well, then I'm just not going to post anything because I don't need to lose my job."
Right.
Well, you're right. Maybe you do need to slow down if you're doing it. If you're doing 27 posts a day.
Yeah, self-awareness is key.
Yeah, self-awareness is key. You need to hinder that a little bit if it is getting in the way of your job. But then you need to decide. I mean, my social media safety minutes, they're done before work starts or they're done at lunchtime. And it's so I just record my minute, before work starts or lunchtime. And then at break times and lunchtime or whatever, that's when you'll notice there might be a delay in my responses to people's comments. I'm just going in there when I have those free periods, and I'm responding and trying to keep that engagement level up. But it doesn't have to be something that gets in the way of work to be able to spread a safety message on social media.
Totally. So I have to ask you, for your social media safety minute, do you do that with a script, or do you do that off the top of your head?
I do that off the top of my head.
It's awesome.
Yeah, no, it used to take probably maybe 10 takes or so. I'm pretty much nailing them down the first take now. And honestly, you say script. No, there's not a written script, but likelihood is if I'm going to record in the morning, my entire drive into work is formulating what I'm going to talk about. And it's formulating in my mind what I'm going to discuss and how I'm going to discuss it and what idea I want to get out. And then it's just a matter of getting it on film and then going in and editing the captioning so that it's actually matching what I'm saying. Because every single time that I say, this has been your social media safety minute, it words it out. This is been your social
Oh no,
so
that's funny.
I have to go in every time and change the word is to has, because for some reason it doesn't pick that up. But and honestly, it takes from hitting record to editing to trying to think of song lyrics that are going to be on there and looking them up to make sure that I'm getting them right. 8 minutes. I mean,
That's
it's not,
awesome.
it's not a time consuming thing. In our Ask a Safety Pro videos, I actually timed myself this last time because I wanted to know how much time I'm actually spending from the editing aspect, because I'm the one that takes all the videos and I reduced the size of them a little bit so that I can email them to a device that will actually have iMovie on them, and then combine them all together, make sure that they're flowing, put the music to them. And I actually just set a timer to go, okay, how long does this actually take me to do it? And it's 18 minutes.
Which is nothing, really. I mean, it's so short. And I'm sure, like I said, there's probably people looking at this stuff thinking, oh my God, that took an hour,
Yeah.
But I think the more you can practice, which would be, take your smartphone, turn it selfie mode and record. I mean, the more that you do that, it's so nice as far as getting better with on the spot speaking, answering questions. And on the spot stuff is great for a safety person because we're on the spot a lot in our daily life. So in public speaking too, I do think that this, even though we're not public speaking in front of anybody, I feel like just the practice in presenting and coming up with concise thoughts as I ramble and talk, I think that it's all really good practice for what we do as a professional anyway. So for anyone to say that it would be like wasted time, I think I would have to argue that.
Yeah, I believe that every little thing that we do, from recording a video or anything like that, it's going to increase the engagement level that you're going to have on an in-person basis with someone, and you're going to learn to enunciate your words a little bit better because you want things to sound important.
Absolutely. And I always have to slow down. I talk really fast. And some people, I mean, most people can't follow along that fast. And if I was talking in front of a construction crew for a tailgate meeting, you would have to slow down a little bit so that you can project more. And so while it sometimes is the most painful thing in the world to hear yourself talk, this has been just super great practice and helps the public speaking get that much better.
Yeah, I agree. I believe that since I've started doing these little videos, and just really engaging from the standpoint of overall on social media to try to spread this safety message, I've seen, I spend more time in research than I did before because I want to know what I'm talking about. And maybe I don't have an idea. So I'm going to go onto the OSHA website and I'm going to see what they've fined people for recently, because, okay, this is something that's relevant. This is something that is topic driven right now, and it needs to be addressed. So I find myself researching more the safety field as a whole, to it, not just from the standpoint of the presentation that I'm giving, but also in that engagement aspect of talking to people that may be commenting on something. I want to make sure that I know what I'm talking about. So I have that, I have that ability to discuss that with them afterwards.
That's awesome. It just makes you a better student of the profession and of the issues affecting other safety professionals. I didn't even think about that part, but I agree that when you're speaking on the topics of the day or relevant safety topics, that it almost, you do that extra research. I find myself doing the same thing. So that's another really good point. So what we'll have to do is we have to listen back to this recording and actually take notes and do everything that we said that we're going to do. I think this is an awesome preparation for the Safety 2020 talk.
Absolutely. And we want to keep these as short as we possibly can. So we're going to go ahead and wrap this one up.
I agree.
And so guys, stay tuned. Pay attention for the next Road to Safety 2020 with Abby Ferry and myself as we begin to discuss the sessions that we have coming up. And thank you so much for paying attention, and thank you for listening in. Again, hit that like button, hit those 5 stars, and subscribe to this podcast because it will help us get that much more popular. So thank you again, and have an amazing day.
You are listening to Safety Justice League podcast on Safety FM.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.